Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Delta Force Coaching with your host, Gyozaplanet. Hello, that's me. Yeah, so we're back again, and I'm glad to see that everybody liked the previous video. It was fun, and I'm glad to branch out into new games. Anyways, I am back and reviewing myself again because I still don't have any footage from other Delta Force players. But if you want to be reviewed and everything, just let me know down in the comments below, or link me gameplay that you have, and I'll go and check it out and tell you guys how to improve and what you guys can do. Anyways, to give you a quick context on this match, it is one of the variant modes. So like not the attack defense mode or the cost mode. This is one with 3 control points and everything, and it's basically just basically you hold the control points and you get kills to run up the score. And I'm using a recon character with a DMR, which I did not realize that this was an indoors map, and we will see the problems with that as we go along. So I'm spawning in late here. First thing I notice is that more specifically, this map is known for having a lot of tight corridors, and more specifically a lot of choke points, and this location over here is one of those big choke points. And what that means is that you have to be careful here because there's usually a lot of people fighting here and a lot of people shooting, running through here and everything. So I was watching out, I was just checking to see if there's anybody I can shoot and everything. Turns out there wasn't, so I move up. I'm still being careful because, yet again, there's usually people here, but I turn around to see the danger ping, and then I go and chase down and start attacking this point.
Keep your eyes wide open.
The flash there is mainly to help out my teammates who are running into the point. It wasn't for me specifically because I'm playing with a DMR, which means I want to stay in the back line, but the flash helps my medic and my defense character up there to run in and take over the point. Now, you will see me throw those throwing knives a lot, and I mentioned in the previous video that I had an issue where I use utility too much. Unironically, this is actually not one of those cases, and the specific reason for this is that this character's throwing knives do a couple of things. Number one, they're throwing knives. If you hit somebody with them, it instantly kills them. Very good if if someone's running at you at close range and you can't swap weapons, or alternatively, if you're in the extraction-based mode, it's really good for taking out enemies without, shooting your gun and wasting ammo / making a lot of noise. Second use it has is that it, quote-unquote shocks an area. It's not actual shock. What it does is basically it disrupts electrical stuff in an area. So this includes gadgets, I'm pretty sure. So gadgets, doorways, and other electronic things in the extraction mode. Vehicles it will mess with, and more specifically, players. And if you throw it at a location, you get a hit marker, that means that a player is being affected. So most of the time what I'm doing here is because there's so much smoke and I don't have a thermal sight, which unironically would have been incredibly helpful in this mode, I'm throwing out the knives to kind of just gauge out where an enemy is. For example, if I throw a knife in this location and there's nothing here, that means that there is an enemy player here, which means that they're either here or they're here. And so suddenly I have the less areas I have to focus on, and so I can either just focus on the left side or on the right side. And if I see that my teammate, for example, here is already shooting in this way and there's nobody here, then I just focus on this right side. And it reduces the amount of angles I have to look at and how much danger I'm in. Here I was trying to take out the medic and this other player down here. I did manage to get the kill. I lied down here. This isn't actually terrible because I'm in cover. It's kind of hard to see me. I get flashbanged, and I kind of panic. I thought that it was a normal grenade. And then I try to throw down a respawn beacon, but I get gunned down by a medic from a surprising range. But then again, it is the Vector, and the Vector kind of hurts. You will see me die a lot to the Vector, just FYI. Alrighty, so I'm spawning in again. And this, I just have it set on random spawn. At the time of recording this, I did not fully realize how this mode worked. You can't actually spawn on the control points. You either spawn on your teammates or you just spawn randomly. So I thought I was just spawning on the point. No. Here, I'm suspicious that there is, if there's someone here, because this is an enemy controlled point, but looking at the minimap and the progress bar declining, that means that my team is currently taking it over. I hear gunshots and everything, so I pull out my pistol in case someone runs at me, because the DMR I have not fantastic at close range. And so right now I'm just trying to get an angle to shoot people. I do manage to find an angle, but I look away at just the wrong moment, and then I miss a couple shots here. Here I'm being careful because it says to my left that the enemy's capturing this point, and then I'm throwing in the flash drone to help my teammates. Now I did this order wrong, I will admit. For those of you who don't know, this character's ultimate, like, quote-quote ultimate ability is she scans and she scans all of enemy operators, up to 3 in the area around you, and it shows little, as you can see there, those little lines on the ground are indications to where they are, and what she can do with her flash drones is that she can have them follow that line, which means that you can basically just have a homing flash that chases down enemies. In the extraction mode, it's pretty useful for if you know someone is camping or someone's holding an area and you just can't flash them otherwise, or you want to force them out of the area. In this mode, it's not super useful, but if you are rushing a point like this and everything, you can flash someone who's hiding in a corner or like who's holding a really good position and everything. Unfortunately, I used a flash before this ability, which means that the ability, all it really does is just tell me, hey, there's enemies up ahead, and more or less the general direction, which is actually why I threw that knife, because it says, hey, there's an enemy in that general area, so I throw the knife to try and like zap them. Now I'm watching here because as I mentioned in my previous video, medics are the most important people on your team most of the time, because they are the only people that can revive other people, and B, usually the key to holding a point. Even if your entire team gets gunned down, if you can hold back the enemy team and prevent them from pushing with stuff like utility, so like the Molotov grenade from the Uluru character, Molotov grenade, shock arrows from the other recon character, general gunfire, stuff like that, smokes even, you can prevent them from rushing you, which gives your medics time to go and revive everybody. And however, medics are vulnerable when they're reviving because you can't shoot people while you revive. Sadly, it would be cool, but you can't. So what I'm doing here is that I'm sitting at a bit of backline and I'm watching to make sure that there isn't anybody trying to shoot our medics and everything. And because I'm further back, there's a lower chance of me getting shot, which means that I'm not the priority here, but my medics are. So I'm just making sure that, the concept is like being Overwatch. I'm just preventing them from getting shot. Spawn beacon here is mainly because we're going to try and rush this point as a team and everything. There's a good chance that my teammates die, so I'm going to throw down the spawn beacon, because if I die, then they still have somewhere else they can respawn on. Here I'm just kind of firing, and I'm just kind of seeing if there's enemies nearby. I see here that they are taking over this point. I just kind of mess up here, and I did not expect him to get that close, and the scope I had equipped was not the best for that. Yeah. So here I'm just going over and assisting the rest of my team, and just kind of, I'm knife fishing again. And now I'm just kind of holding a backline position. You will see this, I will admit I did actually improve here. Instead of trying to run up and be in people's faces with my gun here, I am actually trying to play backline when I have a backline character and gun equipped. I am getting some damage here. It's not enough to actually get kills per se, but it's enough to get this couple assists. And the gun I have does 35 damage per shot. It's the SR-25 marksman rifle with this incredibly good-looking camo that you can get for free with a 7-day login period. Try out Delta Force now. I'm messing. But no, it's solid marksman rifle, but you need 3 shots to kill someone, or 2 headshots, I believe. So even if you don't actually kill someone, landing 1 or 2 shots pretty much guarantees that a teammate can secure the kill for you, which obviously getting kills is nice. It's bonus XP, it's a bonus score. It makes serotonin, all of those happy chemicals and everything. But being able to help the team is also important, and overall, getting the win is generally more important than just getting a stellar personal performance, because it is these are large team-based fights. So anyways, here I'm getting shot. I duck behind cover here, and then this person gets a fantastically well-timed, anti-personnel grenade launcher shot on me. But I have a medic nearby to help me out. Now I'm being careful here because this is the direction I got shot by, so I know there's enemies here, and I'm just kind of firing off into the dark. And then I also pop this here to see if there's anybody nearby, and because I knew that my flash was going to be active soon, to be able to flash them if there is someone. So I do actually spot someone, and I try to move up to help my teammate here, but I can't really see anything. And then my teammate gets gunned. So I throw out a flash here. I suspect that there's someone there, and I see this guy, so I just kind of fire off. I dodge the storm cloud, and then I get caught out. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate. I should have probably backed up more there, or I should have tried to, like, duck down, because I should have probably expected this guy to run at me. This person specifically did have, like, there were a couple of people suspicious about him and everything, but actually right here we can see my spawn beacon from earlier coming into effect and being beneficial to the team. So we have my one of my teammates spawn there, this guy, who starts providing covering fire for the rest of my team, and we have another sniper player. Actually, yeah, you can see him get a kill right here. Fantastic. 2 kills, damn. And then yeah, you see the medic also spawn in. I spawned in too because I was planning on respawning there, but the enemies blew up the respawn beacon, so I just spawned in with my other teammate here to try and capture the point. So I know there's people here because the little struggle indicator here shows that it's mostly my team, but there's at least 1 or 2 stragglers here. On the minimap, we can see there's someone far off to the right and everything who's kind of in that tunnel. I think the tunnel that leads to the A point. But I'm mostly focused on getting rid of the people on this point because there's a lot of like nooks and crannies and places where you can go, and you can just kind of shoot like 8 people in the head if you can catch them all. If you can catch all of them off guard as they run by you. So I know there's someone here, but I don't really want to burn a flash. So instead, I throw a knife, and I get a hit, and that means that yet again, the radius for this isn't huge, but it's pretty big, which means that there is someone here, most likely, because that's the direction I threw it. And actually, I didn't see this at the time, but if you look at the minimap, you can see that there is someone right ahead to the left, or like past these boxes in this little divot here and everything. So what that means is that suddenly I know there's an enemy over here, which, as you can see, I'm being careful and I'm looking for him, and my teammates actually managed to kill him. And there you go. So that's the main value of the knives in this mode, is that they're really good as like recon tools, because you don't really have, you do have an ultimate that tells you how many people are nearby, but unlike the other recon characters, it doesn't show you where they are, and it's mostly for setting up flash kills. So using the knives as kind of like a miniature version of that character's arrow is a pretty good idea, because it's good for clearing out points, clearing out places where you suspect enemies are. And this is, I'm specifically talking about this mode, by the way, in the operation/extraction mode. This character is incredibly useful for knowing. I kind of panic here. I thought this was an enemy. It is not. I do manage to get a kill here on the medic. Unfortunately, I think they revived the medic. So I try and, I knew they were going to probably revive the medic, so I throw another knife, try and get a hit here. I do get a hit, but it doesn't really do anything. And so I'm just kind of holding the back line here and everything and waiting to shoot people as they run up. I throw down a respawn beacon here because, yet again, there's a good chance I die. I was running back to that ammo boxes trying to restock my knives, but it blew up right before I could, so I run up here, a bit close, and we will see this. I get caught out by a medic who peeks from the far angle there, unfortunately. I'm very lucky to have a medic nearby. but I keep holding the point. I get another kill on this guy who's revealed here. And now we're pushing up. So I pull out my pistol because I know that I'm going to be in close quarters fighting. And I throw out my drone. I get a hit here. I throw out another knife to see if there's anybody nearby. I think that this dead guy is an enemy. It's not. But there's an enemy standing on this hill here. And I get revived. I don't know if this guy's still here, and I don't have any tools. As you can see, I'm actually out of knives. So I'm just kind of firing into the dark here. I should have backed up here. This is not a good position to be in, especially with the guns I have, which is a 12-round burst pistol. Like, my character, not designed for this, and my gun's absolutely not designed for this. Once I got revived, I really should have just booked it. Also, because my entire team backed up, as you can see on the minimap, they had backed up. Now, I am lucky. I do manage to have a medic revive me. I escape the dragonfly swarm. And I managed to get back up and start providing some firing support. I know there's people here. I'm just kind of firing in the direction of this line here because it shows off where enemies are. It doesn't, like, admittedly, it doesn't go, it's not great for cover. But I'm just kind of firing in the direction to try and, like, prevent them from running towards me. Or if I get lucky, get damage / get a kill. Which makes me really think that I should have equipped the thermal optic. However, I don't think I have that unlocked yet, sadly. So yet again, I'm going knife fishing. And I do actually get a hit. Which means that, as you can see here, I got a hit in this area. Which means that my attention is immediately drawn to this area. Because I know that there's a good chance that there's someone here. And then I ping that area because that's where I got shot from last time. So I'm like, hey, there's a good chance there's an enemy here. But, as you can see, most of the enemies have cleared off of the point. So, this right here is actually pretty... I think I did pretty good here. So I'm running onto the point. I swap back to a lower zoom on my optic because I'm going to probably be in CQC. I pull out my pistol. I hear this guy and I see him shoot my enemy. I don't know where he's gone. And then I hear the sound of, this is a medic character, and one of his abilities is this, like, healing pistol thingy. But he can also use it to self-heal himself, but it makes a very distinct sound. It also takes a minute to activate. And, so what I did is I jumped out here because I knew that he couldn't pull up his gun because he was in the middle of applying the healing thing to himself. So I just run out, I gun him, and then boom, I get a free kill. Yeah. So here, I am just kind of being careful. I see gunshots here. Instead of running up, I'm holding a bit more of a backline position. I'm flashing because everybody in front of me keeps dying. And I back up here because there's a lot of util going up. I move slightly back here. I try to get this guy. I do actually manage to land 2 hits on him. 66 damage, and my teammate clears the kill. I threw down another respawn beacon here because we're going to be fighting on this point, and the enemies are probably going to try and push forwards, and we don't want that, so yeah, we're just kind of holding down the area. So here I'm throwing this down. This is mainly because they threw out a lot of smoke, which means they're probably going to run at us, and I can use the, whatchamacallit, I can use the, lines that the ultimate causes to hunt down enemies. I threw out another knife here, dodge a flashbang. I did not realize this was an enemy. If I did, I would have shot him sooner. Unfortunately, I'm kind of just pinging here because I want the medic to revive me, but I also did not realize that he was dead at the time. Now, I could respawn here and just spawn back in on my beacon and everything, and it might have been a good idea, but A, I'm in smoke, and B, I'm in cover here. So, I was fully in smoke before, I'm now partially in smoke, or at least the direction facing the enemy is smoked off, which means there's a low chance of the enemy shooting me, and so instead I'm just waiting here because it's better for, I suppose, it's more beneficial for my medics to revive me and for me to get up and just start fighting and everything than try and respawn in, and as you can see here, my teammate here is dead, as is my beacon, so I would have had to respawn on my teammates somewhere else or a random spot, which keeps me out of the fight longer. So I throw out a drone here, which actually immediately gets 2 flashes. I see someone run up here. Here I get completely caught off guard. So I know there are enemies close by here because they are, yet again, they are trying to push. This guy runs by as I'm reloading, which I should not have reloaded here. Yet this is my compulsive reloading issue, which I do need to work on. So I swap to my pistol, try and kill him, and ping there because I'm busy getting rid of the dragonfly drones. I move up here, and I have my pistol out because I know that there's probably going to be someone here. So here, I can't shoot this person. So instead, I just kind of panic, I throw a knife, and I do actually manage to get the kill, which was pretty impressive. I'm firing off the pistol here because this is what I had equipped at the time. I move back here to get a bit more ammo, and just because it's a safer location. There's a little gap here, and in between these boxes and metal pillars, so I'm just kind of trying to fire through here to get a bit of stray damage. I don't actually get anything. I should have probably repositioned. It would have been more beneficial to me. I pull out the pistol there. Now, the reason I pull out the pistol there is not because I thought someone was going to run at me. It's actually because the Uluru character pulled out his drone, or like used his ultimate, which is this like guided missile and everything. It's a very deadly ultimate, and you can deal a lot of damage to groups and especially vehicles with it, but it does have one weakness, which is bullets. Now, hitting it with a DMR is kind of hard. However, automatic weapons or burst fire weapons like this pistol make it actually pretty easy. So my idea was that if he tries to fly the missile past me, I'm going to try and shoot it down with my pistol. If I miss, then at least I tried. If I do hit it, it prevents my team from taking a lot of damage and from being forced out of their positions, where they could get gunned down or something like that. So I'm going knife fishing here again because I know that they're going to try and revive. I try to fire on where those people are reviving, but I don't really get much luck. I'm repositioning here mainly because the smoke was in my way over there, and it made it really difficult for me to actually do anything. This, as you can see here, I'm specifically making sure that the flash follows the little line. And it does actually flash someone and get the kill. And here I'm just kind of holding this position and throwing the knife because I know that they're probably going to get a revive. I get a lot of damage off. And yeah, I'm just kind of waiting here. I do actually manage to get a kill, which was pretty good on me. And I reload. I was doing a lot of early reloading here. Here I'm just kind of checking behind us because I hear gunshots behind me. And I suspect that someone's probably going to try and run towards us. And I was correct. Unfortunately, I had the wrong gun out. And I did not realize that this guy was using a shot. Oh no, yes, he's using a full auto shotgun, which means I was kind of just dead there. I should have probably moved to like this red container when I noticed that someone was running at me. Although from the map it looks like it's several people, so even then I think I would have been in trouble. Anyways, I'm waiting here because I know that there's a medic nearby and everything, but once they throw out the fire, I just give up and decide to respawn elsewhere because the amount of time that the medic would have had to wait for the fire to go down and the chance that the enemies just shoot the medic because I'm in a very open location is not worth the chance of me getting revived. So I respawn here. I respawn same point actually, just in a better position, and I'm fully alive now. I go to 3-9 respawn beacon. I realize my teammate already has one here, so I just stow it. I threw a knife again because I'm going knife fishing. I do actually get a bit of damage here, and then it turns out it's actually because of these little concrete barriers. These are another part of what Uluru as a character can throw out. So, I suspect that they're behind there, so I'm just kind of firing here to destroy the barriers. I run over to reload, get some ammo and everything, and I move over here because I saw that my team was in trouble. I throw out the drone. Unfortunately, this is the guy with the shotgun. I should have backed up here once I realized where they were. I was playing much too close for my rifle. And then, yeah, I see people running up, and there's low chances that a medic could revive me. So, I instead decide to respawn on this beacon, which was right next to an enemy. And, yeah, I just kind of die before they can actually revive. I can get a kill. So, unfortunate. But, hey, at least I tried. It would have been funny, though, if I did actually manage to take them out and then retake the whole point. Anyways, so as you can see here, I'm trying to select the C point, and I've realized that, hey, you can only spawn on teammates. so I do actually spawn on my teammates here. I throw out my ultimate here, and I use the drone to get a lot of damage here. I go knife fishing again, and I'm careful here to get over here to throw on this beacon because I suspect that I'm probably gonna die either from whatchamacallit, from just like stray damage, a stray bullet or something, from an explosive, or from a flanker. So what I want to make sure is that I have a location to respawn on and my teammates have a location to respawn on, because if I'm dead, they can't respawn. So they throw out the dragonfly swarm. Usually when an enemy team throws out a dragonfly swarm, it means that they're gonna be pushing. Most people use that as a fight initiator. So I'm waiting for that, and I'm just holding the point. I get absolutely shredded here because I'm standing out in the open, which I should not have been doing. I really should have been standing behind that box where I put the beacon. I'm lucky that I have a medic here to help me. And yeah, we have someone in chat saying that the Zag, aka the top player, was cheating, which I can't say he could have. It might have just been he might just have a super decked out Vector build because the Vector is kind of silly. Here I get really gunned. You could say that this is just like unfortunate or like bad things, like just the M250 is unbalanced and everything, which I think it kind of is from what I've seen with it, but this is also just a terrible position to be in. This is really bad positioning for me. I am fully out in the open here. I'm standing completely out in the open, and I'm not strafing at all. What I really should have been doing here is either sitting behind the boxes and peeking, sitting like kind of like by these, so either I should have been here and sniping, I should have been here and sniping outwards like this, or I should have been prone and just laying on these boxes instead of fully stood. Even if I was crouching, that would be better than just being fully upright. Ideal situation would probably be right here, so I can just fire into the crowds of enemies from the same angle as this guy, this sniper character right here. But yeah, I'm just completely caught out of position here, and then I'm fairly certain I decide to respawn. Actually, no, I asked my sniper buddy for a revive here, and they are nice enough to revive me, which is fantastic. Which, if you didn't know, you can revive your squad mates. If you're a sniper player, this is really recommended to do if you have a teammate who dies next to you, because a lot of the time snipers play in areas, or I suppose, let's say, hold on, I don't have, yeah, okay, we'll just go with this example. So let's say this is a battlefield. No. This is like a battlefield and everything, and so you got everybody fighting on it and everything. It's split down the middle and everything. Most fighting, I would say, happens in this area, the like first chunk or so, and it's usually tons of gunfire, tons of fighting here. Medics can easily revive people here because this is where they are, this is where they're fighting, and it's also where the guns are best suited at. The medics have short to medium range assault rifles and some machine guns and shotguns. Snipers tend to play in this entire other area over here, this entire back area. Now the problem, aside from the fact that it's really, aside from the fact that them getting sniped is kind of unpleasant, everything, if someone is here, that's really, really far from a medic who might be here, whereas it's a very large distance, whereas if you have someone who's like right here and just dies on the front lines, the medic can run over, throw down a smoke, revive them, and then they're back in the fight. Whereas here, the medic has to run all the way back, usually has to get to some kind of high ground, so they have to take stairs, zip line, run around the hill, etc., to revive a sniper player, who usually has to take even longer to revive because they've been sniped, and sniper rifles have a specific stat on them that means that people who have been downed by them take longer to revive. It's decently longer. You can see this mainly in the extraction mode. So overall, it is not worth a medic's time to go and revive snipers, which means that if you are, like I have 3 of my teammates here who are sniping and everything, and let's say I'm one of them and everything, if I die and everything, it is much easier for a teammate to just run over and revive me quickly, and then I'm back in the fight and everything, instead of me having to die, spawn on them. If they're getting shot at, I can't spawn on them, and then all of them go down and we lose 3 snipers, instead of one of them just taking it's 5-6 seconds to revive me in total. Which, yeah, they're not getting kills, but usually in 6 seconds you get 1, if not 2 kills.
You saved my life. Thanks.
Yeah, anyways, always make sure to thank your teammates and your medics. I throw out a drone here yet again to just kind of prevent people from running at me. And here I take a position here This is a slightly better position because I have metal walling to defend me. And I actually have a pretty good view here, so as you can see, I'm just firing out some pot shots. It's not great aim, I will admit to that. I haven't used marksman rifles much in this game, and I'm definitely not used to how they handle and the recoil and everything, so I really should practice with them a bit more. But yeah, I'm just kind of watching here, trying to get damage on people when I can, and helping out my front line, because low health targets are easier targets. Anyways, here I throw this out because, yet again, there's a lot of places where people can hide here. So, since we're going to go onto the point, we're going to slowly just try and take over. So, I'm just waiting here to see if there's anybody nearby. Anyways, I go knife fishing here again. My character calls this out, and you can actually see that there's a shape moving here. And it's an actual player, and I do actually manage to get a hit here. And, I think my teammates get an assist on them. Yeah, they do. Which is an example of the, this character ultimately being really good through smokes. Because if you can follow that line, you know more or less where an enemy is, and you can just kind of gun them. I was expecting this one to be there. Turns out, nobody's there. And so I see they're trying to take over C, and I'm holding a backline position here, which very, very much lowers the chances of me just kind of getting shot and run at by a medic. I'm keeping an eye here, and I'm being careful on the medic because medics really like to revive other medics because it makes their job easier. They have less work to do. And so as you can see here, I'm holding this position here, and I know that they're going to try and revive this other medic. As I said, medics like to revive medics. So I try and go for it. I get a ton of damage. Unfortunately, I can't really do much, and before we can run the point, we managed to get the win in this match. So overall, I think I did pretty good in this match. The main points, let's bring out a notepad, which is here. Okay. So it is June 6th. Gyozaplanet. Notes. Okay. First thing was mainly just, I think I definitely brought the wrong weapon to this fight, or at least, the way that my weapon was built was not at all suited for this. If I had like a 3x scope or something and it was a bit more snappy and quicker, it would have been a lot better. But I had it set up in a way that was definitely meant for much longer sight lines or like much larger places to fight in, and this map just does not offer that. So just so the first point is being careful of which weapon you bring into a map. Not all of them are suited for every map. This is very true. In this case, sniper rifles tend to struggle. Sniper rifles and marksman rifles struggle in close quarters maps. Same thing is true in reverse. Shotguns tend to struggle, and actually, in this map, this is the coastal beach map and everything. And the first section, like first few sections where you're like kind of, it's a lot of open hills and very little cover and everything. Running a shotgun there is kind of a death sentence because there's so many people with assault rifles, LMGs, marksman rifles, sniper rifles who are just sitting on the hill, that the one place that your shotgun can shine, which is on the control point, you A, can't get to the control points, and B, when you do get to the control points, they're set up in a way that you're incredibly hard pressed to get any value out of your shotgun. So the smarter thing I think I could have done here if I wanted to do better was ditch the marksman rifle and either grab a faster marksman rifle that's more suited for close range, or have a second build that's much better, that's like a more snappy, quicker build. I don't have that though, so my best choice was probably to bring another weapon. Second point here, which would be knowing weapons limitations and not trying to push them. There were several times where I tried to use my DMR up close, or like a kind of like a pseudo assault rifle. It did not end well, as you can see, where every time I got rushed by someone and I tried to use my marksman rifle at close range, I got gunned, which is not shocking because It's not really designed for that. And then there were several times actually where I tried to use my Beretta as if I had a pocket submachine gun, which also does not work because the Beretta, despite being an incredibly strong pistol, it's still a pistol. And it loses to a vector a lot. It loses to the vector, to the P90, to the Uzi, to most submachine guns pretty reliably actually, which is why it's a pistol. It's meant to be a backup option if you're running a long range primary weapon. So what I should really be aware of is that if I have a Beretta, I can't pretend that I have a submachine gun, I can't pretend I have a P90 and just run into 3 people hoping to win. It's not going to happen. Same thing is true with the marksman rifle. If I have the SR25, which is the gun I was using, I can't pretend that I have a shotgun or something and I just run at people. Or I play really, really close, much closer than I should be with a marksman rifle. It's not going to end well. Let's see, what else can I improve on? I think the angles. I think the angles I took towards the end of the game, it got a lot better, but towards the start, there's a lot of times where I left myself incredibly exposed. Which would be be careful, consider all ways you can get shot from an angle, and judge if it's worth it, or if you should reposition. There were several times where during the video I got caught out, like with the Uluru with the M250. That was a terrible position, and of course, if it's a bad position, you're gonna get punished for it. And I did. I got gunned down, even though my weapon technically had the range advantage there. So I should really be more careful with that. I should also just kind of see if I'm gonna take an angle. Like I think it is this fight earlier on here. Hold on. No, it's not this fight. It is, I don't remember where, but it is one where I was holding a, here, kind of, no, here, actually, this is exactly what happened. So this is actually a pretty good angle, because there's only one way in which I could get shot, and it's by people who peek, who are back here and they go out here. And maybe someone who goes like this, but it's not really that many people. And it's also, I'm mostly behind cover, which makes it really easy for me to just kind of shift left and not get shot anymore, or stop leaning and not get shot anymore. So in that case, that was pretty decent on my end. However, this angle isn't really good. One, outside of being not really in a great position because I'm really too close. If there's anybody here, anyone in this area, I'm gonna lose because my gun isn't suited for it. But also, this is a really bad angle because on top of being pushed from people to the left who can just kind of swing out, I can get people from the back here can swing out, and people from the right here can swing out, which is, shockingly enough, exactly what happens in this video, or in this section. I'm watching this, and there's someone on the right that swings out and then just kind of tears my head off. So yeah, being a bit more aware of the positions and the ways I can get a shot from positions will definitely help me in the future. So, yeah. And then this right here, no, it's not this, but it's, I suppose, hold on. This right here, hold on, I skipped right by it. This right here is an example of trying to use weapons, or what did I say? Knowing my weapons limitations. I was pretending that I had a proper submachine gun. I do not. I have a Beretta. Even though I managed to get a very solid burst on this person, I was gonna lose because they had the stronger submachine gun. So yeah. Overall, I think that's most of the points for today's video. Yeah. I think I did pretty well, but as always, I have several things I can improve on, and especially with sniper characters, which I don't really play a lot of, so I'm not really used to them, and that's a bit noticeable in how I play. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Delta Force coaching. If you want to get coached, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, just send me your gameplay. You can either do it through my Discord server. You can send me an email, of course. Comments, just let me know, and then we can organize something. Or you can book a session with me via Metafy and Metafy in the description below as well. And yeah, we can. It'll be live coaching, so I get to tell you directly what you're working on, and you get to dialogue with me if you don't agree with something I say, or you want to give a bit of context to a decision you made, which is always helpful, so I know why you did something. It helps me make better judgment calls. But yeah, and if you like the stuff I'm doing and you want to support me, I have a Ko-Fi, and I would definitely appreciate being able to make these videos and being able to make them slightly higher quality every single time I make them, because I always want to improve what I do. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all later. Ciao.